This week's guest walks us through how easily a bad hire can derail a company and how all these years on he still loves to code. Bobby Healy also tells us how he used a 90-foot cherry picker to famously test the very early stages of a drone delivery drop. Before we get started, a quick word about our sponsors, Philip Lee LLP. Philip Lee has evolved from a specialist regulatory practice to become a leading commercial law firm. Their partners are sector specialists, leading talented teams of lawyers in a collaborative, nurturing environment. Philip Lee's solutions help clients build better businesses, a better society, and a better planet. Find out more at philiplee.ie. Philip Lee, leading the way in commercial law. Very excited to welcome our guest today, Bobby Healy, seasoned entrepreneur, founder and CEO of Manna Drone Delivery, and one of Ireland's most original business thinkers. Bobby has built, scaled, exited, and then deliberately gone again, choosing to tackle problems most people would consider too early, too hard, or too uncertain. Over 7 years ago, he stepped into one of the most regulated and publicly scrutinised innovation spaces in Europe. He's a big-time innovator where conviction is constantly tested and comfort is rarely an option, and knows exactly the cost it takes to back a future before it makes sense. Bobby, huge welcome to Business Plus Talks, which we're partnering on with Philip Lee. So you're actually a tech head by trade, programmer, is it?
Yeah. Been programming since I'm 13 years old.
Back in the 80s, is it?
Yeah, self-taught back in the 80s. Thanks for reminding me. Hacker. Like, I just love coding. We were talking about earlier on, I just love writing code. I love building things, just like personally as projects. It's just a super...
Is it building or seeing the end product?
Yeah, I mean, definitely for me, like, a lot of people wouldn't be motivated by the end product. They just love the journey. I'm always doing it for, like, my personal projects, I'm always doing it for, I want to build this. I want to build, like, even down to my home automation, which is probably the most complex home automation system in the world.
What is it?
But it's just me hacking, Okay. But the end product is magic in some way, like coding is a trade. It's like a plumber, electrician. It's not, you don't need to be a genius to be a programmer, but it's just so enjoyable.
And we always questioned or did you question how things worked from a young age?
That
was the real.
I was the kid that took apart the toaster, took apart the kettle, and all that stuff. Always trying to invent stuff with absolutely no way, to get there, because I didn't have a clue. But I was incredibly curious, and I still am. Still. Obviously don't have as much available time now to learn, but I'm always...
You have a few things. This is your 5th business now, is that right?
6th business.
6th business, okay.
2 in a go at the moment.
Have you got a disease with these type of things now?
It's definitely... It's probably, what else would you be doing? So I have no interest in a lot of the stuff that other people might enjoy in their lives. I just love tech and I love to build, like... So it's not a job, biggest cliche in the world, right? If you enjoy what you're doing and you're not working. But it's true. I mean, there's certain parts of work that I don't enjoy. But generally, I mean, I'm 7 days a week working and never stop.
So what gives you the most joy within that space, the working environment?
I would say the occasional wins are good, be it like hiring. Like, we just hired 4 new people for Manna, and they're just incredibly strong people. Like, that makes me feel really good. And I was part of that. I always meet the people, trying to convince them to come on board. And like, we're always poaching people. Generally, we're not
you spot good talent, right?
We're going after people always. We know of them. We've heard of them. They're in the network, and we go after them. And that's a competition to get great people to come on board. So that's an example of a win. But like, I'm building my own. If anyone knows Evernote, it's a note-taking system, and I've been a subscriber to Evernote for 15 years, and I've hated it for 15 years, and it's driving me absolutely mad how badly they're developing.
So you see things,
and I'm building my
that
own
are out
version.
there, because I think all the good concepts are already there, Bobby, right? But you need to either reskin them or repackage them in a different way.
Yeah, but sure, there was 3 good search engines before Google.
Yeah, true.
Right? I mean,
Bing,
you can always do better. Well, Alta Vista was the big one, and like, that was the big, and Yahoo was there. Like, Yahoo could have had a monopoly and screwed it up with bad design, and just like designed by consensus, designed by committee, designed by really smart people that didn't actually understand I suppose, good design or understand what the customer wanted. And by the way, neither do I. My customer base for my own pet projects is one person, it's me. So I'm building a replacement for Evernote for myself. I probably won't turn it into a business, but that's a bit unusual, I think.
But you're also building an equivalent or a competition to Cartroller as well with Mealy.
Correct, yeah. A very disruptive business model. So kind of tech-wise, very similar to what Cartroller was. And by the way, I wrote the code 20 years ago for Cartroller. It's 20 years ago. I mean, it feels like a new business, but it's 20 years old. So in my world, that's ancient dinosaur technology, but it's still a great system and a great business. But
You were there 15 years, was it?
15 years, yeah. I joined with
So you basically ran the show.
myself and Mike McGurty.
Yeah.
Well, the Turleys founded it. Greg and Niall founded it. But they weren't techies and they weren't really tech business people either. They were car rental people and great entrepreneurs and had the good, I would say, the foresight to bring in someone
But
like
they
me
needed
and someone
domain
like
knowledge,
Mike.
don't they? They need
You needed, at that time, you needed a tech strategy type person, which was me. And Mike was a proper CEO. Like, I'm not a proper CEO, but Mike is for that
Why'd you
type
say
of
that?
business. My Mike's incredible, Mike McGurty.
Okay.
He's just such
He's now
great-
your CEO for Mealy, is he?
For Healy, yeah. Healy is the travel tech business that competes with Cartroller. And it's just got the innovation with Healy isn't really the tech, even though the tech is obviously very good. It's not about tech, it's about business model. It's a disruptive business model. It's kind of you're going from a 3-sided marketplace to a 2-sided marketplace. So you're removing all this friction that brokers had. Because at the time when we built Cartroller, brokers was the right approach. Nowadays, it's not. People are really pissed off with car hire, the experience. So that is a disruptive business model that is, like there's 50 people in Mealy now. It's already profitable. It's a booming business. We've got 50 partners live. Airlines, biggest airlines in the world have moved to Mealy. So and that I could do with my eyes closed because it's easy.
But it's funny, but it's not. So if the Turleys had the nous to get you in and Mike, right? That's a clever play, right? But the same rules apply for your own companies too, because I think the biggest mistake potentially you can make is getting the wrong hire in. Would that be fair? Because you're backing the people to deliver on the product that you're trying to.
All my biggest mistakes have been hiring the wrong people. Literally, all my biggest mistakes haven't been product choice or what business I get into or strategy within that. Like, you make loads of little mistakes, but the ones
because it's a culture play as well.
Well, the ones that really did damage, where you bring in somebody that on the surface seems perfect, but actually, I won't say culture because that word is used too loosely. It's just some people just don't map onto what the organization is. They're so different, and particularly when you hire a senior person, they want the whole organization to map onto their way, and it doesn't suit the organization. And myself and Mike made that mistake a couple of times. Did huge damage, I think, to the business. Like, really set us sideways.
Because, Bobby, sorry, it does affect efficiency, comms, the energy, the whole game.
It can actually destroy the company. Like, when you're a high growth company, going degrowth or going, starting to flatten the curve is super negative thing, because you're not talking about cash flow generation, you're talking about patterns. So when you're raising private equity or venture or whatever, if you have a wobble on your growth, I mean, you cannot afford that. So you have to keep the rate of pace, if not accelerate. And obviously, law of large numbers makes it very difficult to do that. But the classic one is you hire a senior person. And by the way, this isn't just my own companies have done this. Every company does this in some way, shape or form. You hire people that do have the grey matter, they do have the IQ, but they want to put their own impression on the business. They want to put their own stamp on it. And that can be good and it can be bad in equal measures. Like, the worst thing you can have is an over conviction in your own views. You always have to be open to, change and open to...
You get out of the way, do you?
I get out of the way in nearly everything. So I would say in Manna, we have what we call a leadership team. It's a group of 8 people, and they run the company. And most of the time I'm not there. I'm flying around, either raising money or doing podcasts.
Only good ones.
So I put in place a very strong team, and they run the company. Now I of course interfere all the time, but not at the granular level. I'm more.
For the right reasons.
Yeah, it's like decisions like, do we grow in the USA or do we grow in Europe and things like that? And we'll duke it out. And in the end, I'll reasonably frequently say, okay, fine, this is what we're going to do. Listen to everybody. And nice thing about Manna is we have a bunch of people that know me a long time. That a lot of, headers followed me in the journey for 20, 30 years.
You're obviously doing something right.
Yeah, well, I'm obviously not too big an asshole, but I will frequently say, look, fine, but this is the way we're doing it. Just, let's go for it. And I don't mind.
But you'll
being
listen
wrong.
to others. And
Yeah,
understand
of course, I listen to others, and they all have their say, and great. But in the end, dictatorships work way better than democracies, and that applies really.
Are you
well
happier
to
in
business.
smaller companies?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Manna is 170 people now.
Is it because, Bobby, there's a political play there that happens once it goes? Being honest, though, like being in a few
Shoot
myself,
for the king.
Post 50, I think egos and power tripping and stuff starts to kind of creep in.
That happens at 30.
Yeah, fair.
That happens at 30. Everyone up to 30, most people up to 60 or 70. At 100, we're 170 now. I know the core 20 or 30, and I'm checking in with them.
It's a bit like going to a smaller
frequently.
wedding versus a production line. I mean, the tables are there. You don't need, but honestly, I'd much rather know where I'm going into.
What I would say is, now I don't make this mistake, but I'm frequently pressured to make this mistake, which is people want you to hire trophy brides, as I call them, like people, this guy has done this for Uber, he scaled, blah, blah, blah. And
do you back unknowns?
No, very rarely.
I know you said you poach, but would you back unknowns? From a reputation point of view, if they were referred in that you didn't know.
Oh, sorry. If someone comes referred in that I didn't know, yes. It depends on who's referring, and obviously I dig into it a bit. That's what the first best way to get someone is you promote them within the organization. So we have people in Manna that could easily be the COO of the company or the CFO, whatever. And I would prefer to give them the shot because they've been working for me for X number of years than hire the trophy bride that this guy did this or this woman did this or whatever. Because I don't know them and I don't know their, how they really think genuinely. And success in one organization does absolutely not translate into success in another one. And that applies to me personally. I've succeeded really well in certain environments and really poorly in other environments.
But does actually, Bobby, on that's a really good point. Does success simplify things or complicate it? If, you know what I mean?
Doesn't change it. Unless you have an ego, and I don't think I have an ego. But yeah, it certainly I've seen some people, you have a lot of success and
too big
assume that it continues, assume it's because of them. It's not. If you're working hard enough, yeah, of course, but you're looking for luck always. And if you get the luck, you ride it hard. And that's what, that's kind of my success is luck. And then I work hard and I ride my luck hard.
Yeah, I wonder is luck, is it timing or is it planned? I think it's timing.
Well, that is luck. If you
but you plan things to a certain degree, but remember an old boss of mine, he said he went to a Google conference and Eric Schmidt was there.
Yeah.
And someone said, so how did you do it? And Schmidt goes, honestly, potluck and timing. Place just went.
But it's the same thing. Potluck is timing. So Manna, I decided to do it 7 years ago, but only because I was stepping off at a car trawler. I was kind of on the board. I was bored. I was bored of car trawler for 5 or 6 years. So I was just bored and was kind of hacking with different things. So it was just, I was ready to do something.
Had you got Manna? And I was going to ask you.
No, I was running Manna. I had already spun up Manna while I was still in car trawler. But it was a pet project and I was kind of feeling around for what will I do next. I was investing and stuff.
Because I was actually going to ask you about the moment where everything changed or that Manna, and I think I know the reason or how it happened is that you're sitting outside your back garden with a couple of glasses of wine and going,
that was
Libero's chippers down the road.
Yeah.
Why can't I just get someone or a drone to go and pick it up for me and pop back?
That is true. That was a moment where I was sitting there.
But there's multiple moments, I'm sure.
First of all, I was just playing with the tech. I was taking apart the kettle, in this case, a drone, right? So I was hacking with the drones. I was flying drones around my garden. I was writing code to fly them around. That was, just me hacking. But it was me also learning, right? Curious mind. I was learning all about this. And then it was okay, I can't remember if I actually was sitting in the garden with a glass of wine. That story's trotted out so often. I don't know if it's true or not, but for sure, I went down to Libero's to see how they did delivery. I spoke to the lady. I know her well. And I saw the guy in the car. I remember a big guy in a big car with the engine running in the middle of winter, keeping himself warm, doing 4 or 5 deliveries a night. And I was like, geez, that's a bit shit. You know, it's like, that's not great. And I would never order delivery of chips. It's like, no way. They'd be cold by the time you get them. So I at the same time, I was thinking, Jesus, you could actually strap a bag of chips onto this little DJI drone I had. That'd be good crack. So I started I rented a cherry picker and I started to drop bags of chips out of a drone.
You're joking, was that it?
No. I rented a cherry picker in my garden and I ordered everything off the menu in McDonald's to test various different drop methods.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I'm dropping bags of food from a cherry picker, a 90-foot cherry picker in my back garden.
That is
to
tremendous.
see if I could, to see if you could just package it well enough that you could just drop it. And the answer is you can't, because it's going like 100 miles an hour by the time it hits the ground. But it was then I started to say, well, you know what, practically this will work, like technically. And then if you look at the economics, obviously say, okay, well, the economics will work. Didn't know about that, like as in, you know, how much would a drone cost to build, one that would do this job well, and you know, then how much.
It was about 10 grand back in the day. What's it now?
No, I ran an RFP to a bunch of, you know, drone engineering companies, and they all came back about 60 grand a drone, and it was like they can make 3 a year, and kind of like, all right, that's not great. But I kind of saw what the bill of materials would look like in a drone, and I kind of learned the disciplines. And I'm not a hardware guy, I'm a software guy, but I knew enough to know what are the disciplines here, what are the skill sets, what goes into a drone, and you could see that you were going to get to probably 10K, probably, you know, like the ballpark was definitely there, right? And if you say, right, can they do enough flights in their lifetime to offset that? And so I did a lot of work on the economics of it, the capital cost, the utilization, the unit cost, all that stuff. So I knew that it would wash its face. I knew that you could generate cash with it. And then the real moment when I really said, right, this is what I'm going to do, was actually when I met the aviation regulator. And because it was obviously illegal to do what we're doing. It still is kind of illegal to do it in a lot of situations.
You're constantly up against it, I imagine, with people, just with the noise and
well,
all that goes with it.
It's not that. It's a regulatory wise, it was a grey area back then. So the regulations weren't written, but the meeting with the Irish Aviation Authority made it very clear to me that the regulations were coming, and more so that in Ireland we've particularly keen Department of Transport and a regulator that actually wants Ireland to be a home for this type of technology. So you kind of had the regulations are nearly there. The European regulations that are being written and being evolved. And then you have a national market regulator in Ireland that wants to be part of it. So that was the thing. It was like that very clearly the Irish regulator wanted to be part of this. So it's a very tightly regulated
But you're
industry.
also, Bobby, trying to package up an idea. And I think you're probably very good at selling a vision, right? If you think about drones as an example, and you're going to investors, you're going, this could work.
Oh yeah, well, it wasn't that straightforward.
But that's my point. So you're selling
Yeah.
it like, you're okay, VC.
Yeah,
Here you go. Here's the idea.
yeah.
You've got to back yourself there.
Yeah, so that's an area where Ireland is weak. We don't really. I mean, it's a small market, so there's not a lot of venture. Relatively speaking, there's not a lot of true venture stuff like moonshot stuff. Very hard to get a moonshot type of business backed. And this Manna's obviously a moonshot. Very hard to get that type of business backed. And it doesn't matter my success in the past. That's no relevance whatsoever to getting backed for something like this. So that made it a little bit more difficult because, you know, I'm in the USA trying to raise capital for it, the seed round. And then they're saying, whereabouts in San Francisco do you live? And it's like, well, I'm actually in Ireland. Yeah. So that is a massive disadvantage. And there, I think resilience helps, you know, because like everybody that
But
said
you also
no
had a
to
good
me,
feel. You must have had a good feel that this can work.
but I've always, not
Yeah.
a good feel. I was 100% certain. Like there was no doubt in my mind. And there still is no doubt in my mind. But I would say I'm the exception, still am kind of. I mean, nobody believed in it when I started it off.
Is being in your position, Bobby, let's be frank here, lonely when you're starting off something, but you have the belief behind it, but not many others might see it. And a bit like a friend of mine's at the top of his job, like it's an upstream where It's you're selling a vision, backing yourself, making sure it happens, going to market. Like you're running to stand still almost. You're at a pace where others don't probably see what you see quite early on.
I wouldn't say that it's lonely. I enjoy that. I relish that. Like it's the fact that it's so different that no one else believes in it means that you're going to have no competition. So all I see is, okay, I specifically wanted to do something really interesting, really hard, and high likelihood of failure. Not that I wanted to fail, but something that no one else is going to be in. Because you have a big disadvantage being in Ireland because it's a capital game. We can't raise enough capital here. Like if you want to really win, you need a ton of capital. So definitely loneliness is not the right word there. It's lonely being a CEO, you know, a non kind of, like I've co-founder with Mike and Healy and Cartroller. We were good friends and we had each other to bounce off. And I'm the CEO now at the top, so to speak. It's not lonely, I would use the word, but it's kind of no one to share the fun, the crack with. But being on my own with an idea that's so out there, that actually, that's where I want to be. You know, I want to be not the person that no one believes in, but I want to be the idea that I'm certain of, but that no one else believes in. And that's what this is. Yeah, I mean, the key to winning big with a moonshot is to be right about something where everybody else is wrong.
But you're not always right?
I'm always right.
Okay. So you mentioned competition. Are you Amazon, for example? You'll have heard this a million times. Are you worried about the bigger dogs coming in?
No.
Why?
Small companies always win against big companies in the innovation, in difficult things to do. Google are very good at it. Actually, if you look at Google's fight against OpenAI now, right, on the AI front, Google have pivoted marvelously and will probably win. But in a space that's, software is different, right? Software is kind of, once you have a good enough team, no matter whether you're big or small, you should be able to not win and destroy, but like OpenAI are going to do just fine. But Google have responded and caught up, and now I would say maybe have overtaken. But in our space, like we're an airline, we're a low-cost airline, right? I mean, so the way to think about us is we're Ryanair. That's, if I were to say, who do I say, who's our comp? It's Ryanair. It's a relentlessly efficient, low-cost operation that just moves shit around cheaply. That is the comp, right? So we're not winning on sexiness or the aircraft or any of that stuff. We're winning on process automation.
But a premium product at a low cost.
Yeah. It's not a premium product. People aren't buying drone delivery.
They're buying a Ryanair is still a premium product. It's
it's on time.
Yeah, and it works.
It's punctual.
Exactly.
Yeah. I fly them all the time. I have no issues with any of their rules, any of that stuff. You learn. But it's what I'm in awe of is they have an incredible technology team, one of the best in the country, and no one recognizes that or sees it. But they've the best systems of any airline in the world at selling stuff, right? And they have a leader, obviously a lunatic, but you know, look what he's built. Yeah. And it's based on a culture of efficiency, cost, and focus on cost.
But a bit like Michael O'Leary, Bobby, he's constantly under scrutiny, and you are too, I'd imagine.
In a different way, I think. He looks for trouble. I try to avoid trouble. He's constantly looking for trouble. I do get into trouble.
Well, hang on a sec.
Sometimes.
Now, I'm not on Twitter, right? But
I do love the Twitter.
Yeah, and I hear you're pretty...
Everyone should follow me on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, you say it as it is, right? And rightly so.
Yeah.
It's
a niche I keep scratching.
Just go at people, do you?
I don't go at people, no. No, God, no.
Just say what you want to say.
Some people will have a go at me, and I'm quite polite with them. No, I mean, I'll have views on, for example, Ukraine, and I'm pro-government, pro-Ireland, celebrate the successes in Ireland, not the flaws. And I get attacked for that quite a lot. I enjoy that. It's fine. And look, it's a great way, funnily enough, to promote a business.
Yeah, no, agreed.
And a brand as well.
So your time in Manna is, what, 7 and a bit years now. Is this, Bobby, like a 10-year play that you see?
20.
20?
I thought it was going to be 10, but it's actually going to be 20. Yeah, because like we're 7 years.
So you'll be 70, will you?
Oh Jesus! I'm 57. I just turned 57, so I know I only look like I'm 40. I hear you.
So young. So
Uh,
young.
so yeah, yeah, mid 60s, late 60s. Yeah.
You
But your
clearly,
Warren Buffett was
no,
800
I'm
years
not.
old.
Sorry, I'm not discounting anything here. It's more, I think the newer companies coming in, right? They have a shorter window because people are getting.
Oh, well, SaaS companies, software companies have a shorter window because they can get sold straight away. You show some growth, you show product market fit, and you're going to get acquired or whatever, right? That's different. That's not what this is. This is an airline and it's an aircraft manufacturer. It is.
Yeah, and I get that. But if I go back to the Amazons and the competition,
Yeah.
does that not give them more time, more clout to come in and actually hammer?
What we have is we're the
Are you on your third round now?
Series B.
Okay.
We've raised about 5 rounds now. We've raised a ton of capital actually,
Right.
and it's getting easier for us now. But our next round will be end of 26 probably. Like so, we're going to do a lot of growth in 26. So we're finally going to do actual revenue growth. So we're like almost no revenue now.
So what's the end goal? So you're, or where are you now? You're Europe based, right?
So 3 cities: Dublin, Texas, and Helsinki.
Oh, okay.
And so we're going to ramp up a lot in the United States, definitely Texas, and probably 1 or 2 other states. Undecided around Europe and Ireland, but likely, I mean, Ireland's a small market in theory, not an important market in theory, but it's important to me personally. Wearing my green jersey, I want to build the biggest drone delivery company in the world. We're already the second biggest, and we'll overtake Google.
You are the second biggest?
We are. Google are bigger. We'll be ahead of Google. I would have thought end of 26, but we probably won't be because they're doing a lot of growth. So sometime 27, all going well, we will be the biggest. And by the way, it isn't about size in this thing. It's about complexity of operation and functionality. So we are by far...
You're energized by complexity, though, I think.
Well, complexity, you have to solve complexity if you want throughput. And you have to solve throughput if you want relevance. So in other words, if I want to fly for a McDonald's, let's say, that are doing 50 to 100 deliveries an hour, I have to be able to do 50 or 100 deliveries an hour off their roof. And if you want to do that off their roof, you need concurrent operations. You need aircraft to be highly efficient. And no one can touch us. Like Google, as much as I love their team, brilliant product, they get 1.2 deliveries an hour out of an aircraft. We get 8 deliveries an hour out of an aircraft. So all the things that are sexy in truth are operational statistics, and no one can touch us on that in the world.
I'm not going to go into what happens in the air because you have all that sketched out. I think it's the size of a seagull when it's up there.
Yeah.
And obviously you can navigate your way around through all the different tech that you have, which is remarkable. And I think I even heard around wind, stormy weather, it's all still good to go.
Yeah, we fly
no
97.5% of Irish weather. Last 365 days we've flown in. So rain, snow, strong winds. No bother. We're right on the edge, like on the safety. So you have to be 40% spare fuel, like energy wise. So that the challenge is not strong winds; it's gusts of wind. So it's like you might have a strong wind, it's fine, just energy. But gusts throw the aircraft around. And when we're coming back to land at base, not at a house, but when we're coming back to land at a base, all the aircraft are very close together. Yeah. So you've got a lot of coordination and orchestration to make sure they don't touch each other on the way down. So that's actually the hard problem to solve.
What's been the hardest problem to solve in your career, do you think?
Raising capital. Oh, in Manna, Manna's been very straightforward, believe it or not. Like the tech it's extremely complex tech.
Is it just because you get better through the years, Bobby, of all the stuff that you've seen?
No, tech is easy. Like I'm a good tech guy, right? I can build stuff, right? So that is a strength for sure. And my team are excellent as well. So like you put together a really good tech team, you know exactly what you need to build. That isn't hard, I would say, per se. Sorry, there's no risk to that. It's very hard. It takes a long time and it's complex, but it's there's no risk to it because that's what we do. Like we're a team, we know how to build stuff. There's no risk. We know how to do it. That's not the hard part. The hard part is staying alive and not running out of cash while you're waiting on regulators to catch up with you, because we're so far ahead of regulations. We're going back to the European regulator constantly saying we need to do this now, and they're not ready for it. And they've been hugely supportive, but the wheels turn slowly. And so we've been held back hugely by just the pace of regulation, even though great people with the best will in the world, with the intent. They just don't move as fast as, a company will move. So
Are you impatient?
no, not at all. No, because I understand the other side as well. Like, I mean, regulators have to be disciplined. Their remit is not to innovate or to create industries. Their remit is to protect people in the country that they serve. So that means air risk, so that we don't hit anything in the air, and ground risk, so that we don't land on your head.
Question for you: what would be the most expensive decision you've made? Not financially, but maybe emotionally.
Like a mistake, you mean? Hiring the wrong people.
Is it?
Comes back to that, yeah. Like, I haven't made many expensive mistakes, made loads of little ones, but no, big expensive mistakes. But 100%, the most damage I've ever done to my own interests. And
you
those
mentioned
of
at
my
the start, I was
company,
wondering, was it the same? Yeah.
it's 100% that.
Yeah.
Like, and when people ask me for advice, like, when people ask me for advice, the first thing I say is, well, if you're asking for advice, you're already in the wrong place. And then I say, well, my only serious mistakes have been on people that I've hired or chosen to work with.
Any misunderstandings about you as a founder, do you think, that people would see you as? Would they think that you're quite brash in a sense, or you just are a go-getter?
Yeah, I mean, I don't try to be brash, but when I look at myself, probably if I looked at this podcast, I'd hate myself. Because, like, I know what goes on in people's heads, including myself. Sometimes you just see someone, you just don't like them, and I'm definitely that type of guy.
You think you don't have a likable face, is it?
Yeah, some people want to punch me in the face, particularly left-wingers. So I definitely raise the ire of, certain, I won't name the political parties, but on the far left. And I'm their poster child for, this is everything we hate. Like, male, middle-aged, tech.
But you
like
do a lot of good
bro.
things. I also, by the way, on this particular note, I see you're on the board of Deborah. Is that right?
Yeah, been there for 8 years, 8.5 years.
Charity, yeah.
Yeah. I've been on the board for 8.5 years. I mean, for those that don't know, Deborah is a charity that supports children with epidermolysis bullosa, the butterfly skin condition. And there's 300 families in Ireland affected by the disease.
So Colin Farrell running.
Colin Farrell's great. Johnny Sexton as well.
Yeah.
They're all big supporters and help us raise a ton of funds for the charity. But if you saw a family or a mother that has to raise a child with this disease, you would get everything you had and give it to the charity. So it's not a difficult one for me to support or be involved in. Doesn't take a lot of my time, but I help them raise funds and that kind of stuff. It's just such a nice cause.
Bobby, any habits or books or
Yes.
podcasts you listen to that would help shape you or ground you, or any sort of things you do on the side that people don't see?
The best podcast other than this one that I listen to is Stratechery, Ben Thompson.
I actually haven't heard that one, no.
Oh my God, it's top class. It's a subscription one, quite expensive. It's incredible. He's an analyst, a US tech analyst, so he analyzes all the companies.
All right. That's right up your street then.
Oh, it's great. So he kind of helps me he informs my views on the various different tech things going on, and from a financial point of view as well. And then books wise, Being Emma is
What's that about?
It's a book by Emma, who has epidermolysis bullosa, and it's
Was that on the Late Late?
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. Being Emma, short book and a great read, but it's put you into the life. That's the most recent book I read. And then Breakneck by Dan Wang, about the pace of Chinese industrialization and tech in China, manufacturing. Breakneck, Dan Wang, very, very good. And then everything. I listen to anything, weird stuff.
And as a switch off, do you any exercise you do or anything?
Zero exercise.
Looking good for a man who does zero exercise.
Stone overweight.
One last question before we sort of wrap things up is a decision, Bobby, that you're maybe most proud of over the career journey, or actually that no one ever talks about, or that you don't talk about.
That's a tricky question. Having children. That's a choice. I had 4, absolute nightmare.
What ages?
21.
The young one as well.
21, 12, 10 and 4. Yeah.
It's also the best.
Yeah,
job
Charlie
in the world.
Chaplin. I'd have another 2 children if I could. If there's any potential wives out there listening, no, I'm very happily married with 4 children, and that's the biggest decision that some people choose not to do or do. It's all you have, really.
Yeah, very good. So you may have heard that we have a question from our previous guest.
No,
Okay, well now you know.
I missed that when I was listening.
All
to
right. So there's a little one here, and it goes like this. If you could rewind 10 years from now, what would you change?
Oh, I'd have exited car trawler before COVID hit it.
Oh, yeah.
COVID destroyed car trawler.
Yes.
Yeah.
The old COVID play.
I'd have shifted it. I'd have sold it to some poor unsuspecting fool. Yeah.
That was, yeah, God.
Yeah,
Because
COVID,
you left at 2020, was it? Sort of. You were
think about
you were
that.
board director
Yeah.
up until about 2020.
I kind of
I
left
think.
around the time. I was kind of already gone, and I'd done. We'd done okay out of car trawler, a bunch of exits, but I was still the largest private shareholder of car trawler when it got restructured.
Ah,
Yep. So
that makes sense.
But
Okay.
you know, life isn't about that. You know, so
As they say,
learning
life isn't
experience.
linear.
There's black swans everywhere.
Yeah.
And that black swan's shit on my head.
Okay. Very good. Okay, so a question for the next guest from yourself.
Am I allowed to know who the next guest
Nope.
is?
No. You're the third
Right.
person who's asked that now.
Okay. Do you think Ireland is a good place to build something like Manna?
Wow. Good luck to the next
I know
guest
the
there.
answer, by the way.
Well, you're not like giving it away yet. Well, you can if you want. You
Can I?
Yeah.
Ireland is a brilliant place to build something like Manna because we have such a business-friendly environment, great talent, low cost, incredible support from the state, like Enterprise Ireland, IDA, you named them. They're battling for us on the international stage.
Okay, give us another question then on top of that.
Shite. Okay. All right.
You can go any angle here. Doesn't have to be from
Give me
a core.
anything.
Like so, a lot
Okay.
of them have been health.
Okay, I'll ask a tricky question then. If you were an investor and you had apples and apples lined up and you had a female founder that's 30 years old and a male founder that's 30 years old,
I really like this one.
would you be influenced by the female founder being female or not? And be honest with your answer and why.
That is a dinger. Well, Bobby, thanks a million for popping on. I think you've walked us through how leaders think when I think certainty sort of disappears a good bit, along with the courage it takes to back a future where nobody else can see. And I think you're very much willing to stand over the decisions, you know, when the outcome probably isn't in any way guaranteed. So thanks again
Correct.
for your time.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Philip Lee has evolved from a specialist regulatory practice to become a leading commercial law firm. Their partners are sector specialists, leading talented teams of lawyers in a collaborative, nurturing environment. Philip Lee's solutions help clients build better businesses, a better society, and a better planet. Find out more at philiplee.ie.